What always impresses me about LG is the fact that Sam or Octane is always playing really well. I think he's kind of like the backbone of that team. Personally, I think we just have to win a respawn, and then I think we should be able to take both S&Ds if we play our game.
I mean, they got to be playing like not up to the LG, and we got to be playing really, really good. Like just straight up facts. Like for that match, I'm like 10 hours of sleep, warming up, 2 hours for that match. We have to be on point when we play them.
So after playing LG for the first time in Anaheim, I kind of like realized why they're so good. It never really felt like you were in a 1v1. There'd be very rare cases where you would fight one player one-on-one. So if we want to beat them in respawns, I think we're just going to have to be aggressive like that.
Parasite really just brought some leadership to the table. I think Nameless now can focus on more of himself in game. Nameless really playing like a superstar really helped them, I think. So they definitely got to back him up. I've seen times and time again whenever he'll play and he'll just have 40 kills and his teammates all at like 20 kills. So if someone can back him up, they can possibly be a threat this weekend.
If we're both playing like up to our like potentials, I think we could have some pretty good games. It's all going to come down to that day, but if I had to give it an estimation, I'd say one-on-one.
I think we can take it 3-0 or 3-1. If we continue to play like the way we did, I don't see them really being a problem in our gameplay.
And welcome back. The final match here, day number 1. This is stage 2 of the Call of Duty World League GPL, and we are in for a treat. This is a rematch from the winter semifinals of Anaheim, and it's happening here in the first stage of groups. Now, last time these two teams met up, we saw Luminosity crush Evil Geniuses. It was a brutal stomping. I believe it was 250 to 80 something in hardpoint. Then when it came to search and destroy, a 6-2, 12-3 when it went to an uplink. But this is a totally different setting. And fellas, I have to ask you, what are our chances of having 4 teams tied at 1-1? Joe, is there any way we see a 3-0 from EG and they take the #1 spot after day 1?
Chris, no.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Any chance they even win the series, guys?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a chance. I like to play devil's advocate and kind of say, you know, what do they need? And I think Parasite put it, you know, on the head there. He said they need a not very good LG to turn up. But we've all seen, you know, the form that they're in and, you know, what they can do. I do agree. I think this should be Luminosity's, but EG, they've just lost to Fnatic. Fnatic lose to Mindfreak, and we've seen what Luminosity have done already today. So I've got to say with these boys as well, Luminosity should take this.
TP, you are 1-3 on the day. 1-4-3, I should say.
Yeah.
You could make it 2-2.
We all picked mine.
It's time to go 50%. No, none of you did.
Yeah,
you all picked Fnatic, and you are all wrong. So give me the map count prediction here. I'll give you a bonus point if you nail this one.
3-0 LG.
3-0?
Yeah, 3-0.
100%.
3-0?
Yeah.
Yes.
Joey DeLuca.
Yes.
Everyone is going with the hot 3-0. Let us know if you agree. Here's a look at the 5 maps they'll be playing in the best of 5. Evil Geniuses, at any time, they can turn it on, and we saw that in the first round, stage 1. Nameless took over the game. He's going to have to be the guy. Will he be able to get it done? Breakout Hardpoint is your first game in the best of 5, and we have our casters ready to kick this bad boy off. Let's send it over to Maven with Courage.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, here we go. What is going to be maybe a similar start for EG, similar stage 1? You know, they start out, they don't win a series, and then they have to turn it up. Are they going to be in a similar spot?
Yes. The difference, though, they won a map this time. Last stage, they went 0-6 in maps and 0-2 in series on day 1. Either way, I think this is less about EG. We know they struggled earlier today, and more about how good LG are right now in this series. I think you could basically put anyone up there on that stage in competitive Call of Duty outside of maybe a couple top North American teams, and I would say this is a 3-0 for LG right now.
Yeah, and this isn't favoritism or bias or anything. It's just how good LG have been. You know, when we came into this year, I know their original roster, I was like, this is a team that should be top 3. We know they're going to be getting respawns looking at that trio, that original trio they had from last year. I think we can all agree they're finally playing at the level we've expected them to for a long time, even maybe surpassing that.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
It most certainly is. I'm ready, though, to kick off our final series of day 1 of the... This is the red group, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not all off with my colors. The red group here in stage 2. It's LG going up against EG. And here's a look at the side of LG. We're watching none other than Octane, the man with the NV4 and the plan to decimate anybody on the map.
You're Anaheim MVP. Let's see what he can do off the break. The guy has become a lock for a 1.2 KD or better. It's been insane what he's been able to do over the past several months in competitive Call of Duty. You see the laser-like accuracy he's got with the NV4.
And already LG are flying right into that hard point. 4 quick kills there off the break with only 1 traded on out from EG. EG, as we know, are currently in position for the new hard point, but look at how early this pressure's coming in from Slack, Maven. The man's running a tactical as well, catches Nameless off guard right there, can't even shoot back. 3 kills in a row for Slack. The potential 4th is here. There's the cleanup. The spawns have been flipped. LG is perfectly up 24-0. They've got the spawns to the new hard point as they've taken full command.
The hell was that? Like, usually if you spawn on that side, you're spending most of the hard point trying to fight through and get control, right? And they did it off the opening break. That is not how it should happen. You only got 2 spawns in if you're EG, and you're gone. All 4 dead. This is a terrifying beginning to this game. Luminosity making it look easy.
And this is why LG are the best team in the world right now. They're all on the same page. Saints continues to play better and better, it seems, Maven. He's starting off this game 4-1. Even now he's got Octane watching over. Octane in that top window. Such a deadly position. He'll have to back on up, though, because he knows how tagged up he is. Tacticals even being used. 51-1 now the score. And Saints again pinching. He did this in middle already. He's going to do it again here. There's 1, the 2nd just around the corner. Thank you very much. Saints stops the push single-handedly as the 3rd kill's there.
And you gotta feel good for Saints, man. He's got a lot more to play for than some of these players, right? You know, he has a child. Getting that victory here at the last event, you gotta think maybe that puts him at ease when you're thinking about finances, all the stress you have of providing for your family. It was so good to see the success story that he's been this year and the confidence he's now playing with. It's amazing.
He was the arguably top player in Call of Duty Ghosts back then, a few years back. I think his stock went down over time, right? He was not as consistent. He didn't show as much drive. People were questioning what role he would play. Then he's kicked it back into gear this year, especially as of late. He's now seen a lot of success with this team. LG, they're looking to overwhelm. EG were in full position. They get broken just like that. It's 92-2.
We've been playing for, what, a solid couple of minutes. Slacked still hasn't died. He's 6-0. He's now got his bombardment and Trinity rocket to work with.
Oh, but it's not like he's hiding from the hill. The man's got 1 minute and 1 second in the hard point. He's leading the game in time. Right now, the entirety of EG's roster has 2 seconds in the objective so far.
And I think these opening minutes can kind of tell you why we felt very confident about LG in the series and overall in the weekend going 6-0. They're just playing at a level that basically no one can match.
And don't forget either, right? We're not just being biased casters here, as people love to bring up. They brought it up when Optic were super dominant, and we always expect them to win. Now with LG in their dominant phase, this is an EG team that just lost all 3 respawns, sorry, to Fnatic in that first series they played. So they've yet to win a respawn so far. At the end of our 3rd hill, it's 127-4, and now streaks are going to rain on down from the sky.
And this is a map, though, where we've seen incredible swings by tons of teams that have come back from 100 points down. But this is absurd right now. You only have 4 points on the board for EG. They're trying to rotate over to Commissary, but you have the helipad spawn right now for Luminosity. This is going to be another win for them here.
You heard Parasite, who's currently at 1-11 in this game, say earlier in that interview that it seemed like LG were always in a position to trade a kill when they played each other at Anaheim. There was always 2 players shooting at them. Every perspective you look at, EG are just being overwhelmed by the amount of ARs they're having to face. Here, Saints playing that off angle. He's done it the entire map so far, just shooting players in the back for free. They know both players are hitting middle map. Can they hold this one off?
How?
Does appear so as Slack gets both. It's 155-5.
I'm looking over at the analysis desk, and they just have question marks on their faces, if that's a thing that you can have.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Maybe a Sharpie somebody busted out, but this is an old-fashioned stomping.
They just had Slack fail and jump off the map to make it a 1v2, and Classic still held off both players.
I mean, this is, when you're talking, it continues like this, some of the worst hardpoint beatdowns in the history of competitive Call of Duty. Ladies and gentlemen, we are well on the way to that, and Parasite has set a record for least kills in a competitive map. He's 2-14 right now.
Forget a 100-point club. There is a potential for a 10-point club entry. This has not happened since I believe it happened to Momo competitively. All the way back in Black Ops 2 as I look over at Momo and the man that I believe took part in that match, TP next to him. Oh, the 10-point club is broken though. EG coming to life. They doubled their score on this hardpoint, Maven.
I mean, let's look at it. If they were to come back in this, it would be the single greatest comeback that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. but they've got so much work to do right now.
What makes you say that? The 3-minute deficit they had?
Yes, I think that's the beginning of it. Not to mention the lopsided slang, and basically every category you can take a look at right now. And I know we're knocking EG a little bit, but unfortunately it's very well deserved the way this game is going right now. LG just continue to roll. Slack started out 7-0. He's now 16-5. He's almost got 2 minutes to go in the hard point. I was wondering if we were even going to see anyone break 20 kills with how fast this game was going. Saints, the man, has hit the mark. He dies after picking up the 2-piece there. EG trying to get something going, but you still got 3 people set up in cell block. And this could be buried in the next hard point.
They've got NB4s pre-aiming this door. Nagafen gets gunned right there by Slack. The trophy system defense still doing wonders to keep them alive inside the hard point. 207-27. They can't win off this hill, but they'll get pretty damn close. As now EG look to push on through.
What's even close to this? What, phase splice from Vegas? Like all the way back then? It was breakout? It was something like, wasn't it?
250 to what, 26?
I think it was, yeah. So in that realm, certainly. But EG have now passed that point. 36 points on the board. We're going to rotate out and get set up for Graveyard. EG is set up there. Can they rally something together here? A perfect 60 doesn't really put them back into it, but at least gives them a fighting chance.
Yeah.
They've got a nice setup here. Havoc in a close corner. He's got teammates looking over him from Grave, and this has been probably the most points rallied in a row right now for EG.
And here comes the worry, though, when you're getting outslayed by nearly 20 kills, the streaks that make all the difference on the retakes. Octane charges on through. Havoc, though, does got him there. 4 straight dead. EG showing some life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one positive you can say, it's going to be very difficult to win this, but at least you've turned it up a little bit and made it a bit more respectable over the past couple of minutes versus what this started as. Something maybe you can take into game 2. Watching Nagafen right now as he pushes towards loading. That's Saints getting the better of him. But Parasite here at Commissary, he's spawning his teammates there at back helipad, so they'll have the control that Luminosity enjoyed the last time we hit this rotation. And this could be a couple nice hard points strung together for EG.
And look at the difference you're seeing in some of these kills. It's Evil Geniuses finally being the ones that have LG running into them. They're the ones holding the angles. They're the ones watching the wall runs. Instead of it being them trying to hopelessly go for those same plays. You mentioned that, and it looks like they will bring this down to just a 120-second difference. Challenge from Nagafen there at the FTL jump. They get 4 dead again. Okay, EG starting to finally fight back.
Again, this map, man, we've seen some of the most dazzling comebacks of the year. Now over the 100-point mark. EG alive and fighting. Parasite went on a 5 streak before dropping. It's Nagafen making plays inside the hard point, but it's Luminosity and Saints ultimately bashing on through. Slack on the outside wall run, but the fancy footwork. What was that kill?
I don't know. I think his bullet hit the farthest right part of that mark on his screen to get the hip fire to connect. 233 to 107. It looks like the miraculous comeback might be thwarted here, thankfully for LG fans, as your team was up 180 to 7 at one point. Either way, if you're EG, you're 0-4 now. As this game should wind down in respawn game modes, that's something that has to change moving forward.
And I'm not sure, honestly, if this is, EG starting to get back into it a little bit, if it was EG slow start and starting to get going, or if it was Luminosity kind of just being like, what the hell's going on, and taking their foot off the gas. I'm not entirely sure. For EG fans, you better hope it's them starting to figure it out. But God, man, you got Saints 29-19, Slack 26-12. Octane, the guy we've highlighted like crazy over the past month, he's sitting at 14-20. It wasn't even really needed to go off in this.
Yeah, he was kind of chilling. Not his best game. Teammates taking over, and that's just a sign of a lot of strength for LG.
It certainly is. Everybody capable of having big games. Is a one-on-one fight between Slacked and Nameless. Goes the way of Slacked. You need 8 more points for LG. We're taking a look at the rotation. You have the right side of the map right now covered for EG at least.
Oh gosh, and they're going to get these 3 seconds as well, which will bring it even closer now to a game victory for LG. If this score, Maven, was like 220 to 130, I would absolutely believe that this was still possible. But
yeah.
247, they've already popped the 1 active camo to charge into the Hill. Classic wins a gunfight. GG. LG 250 to 136. Dominate game 1.
And that's one of those score lines where if you take a look at it at the end, I don't think the final score line really tells the story whatsoever. I mean, when it's a point like 187, you know, you never want to call the game as a commentator. It's one of our rules to never do because we've seen crazy comebacks, but it's hard not to with the start to that game, how lopsided it was. That was unbelievable stuff, and another example of why LG is considered the best team in the game.
Yeah, they're now a perfect 4-0 in map count today as they'll move forward, and EG realized that that was a rough map. You start off with Parasite, I believe, going 1-12. He starts to turn things around, but at that point, it's too little too late.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I mean, the LG team, we know Octane Saints, we nail it home how good they have been, but I don't think people understand or appreciate at times how good the classic, the duo of Classic and Select has actually been. We sat down with the team. Let's hear their thoughts.
Me and Classic have been teaming together since the beginning of Ghost, so we've been teaming for like 2.5, going on 3 years. End game, I'd say we just learned to trust each other. We really know what each other are gonna do. Like I said, whenever you team with someone for 2.5, going on 3 years, we've played boots on the ground together and we've played Jetpack COD.
We're able to talk over plays and communicate what we want, and it really helps us just be on the same page. We've always been comfortable with each other, able to speak our minds, and sometimes we butt heads, sometimes we get along, but it's always for the better of the team.
We just know each other's tendencies, what we're gonna do in certain situations, and kind of just know how to lead a team and help everyone get better.
Cross change probably help us because our teamers are already at a top level, so all those teams that make changes have to build up their chemistry and teamwork.
It's coming down to the wire. LG just a couple seconds away. Luminosity will do it. Luminosity will clutch up, and Luminosity will be your CWL Anaheim Open champions.
They love playing together. There's so much talent on this team, and you hear how long it goes back, whether it's the duo that are on your screen right now. You throw Octane in the mix with that last year. Deadly composition on this lineup.
You could say this duo looks the best they've ever been across the years they've competed together. One thing I do want to mention is they have a lot of banter between each other. They're always roasting, saying, oh, Jerry, meaning Josiah's nickname. Oh, he's trash at this. Oh, Nick, he's terrible with camera. That's all they do back and forth all times.
I mean, I've been around long enough that it used to be the Slacked Huddle duo, and it was Classic and Replays that were a duo, but there's been I've been involved with 5 years now. It's been the Classic Slack duo, man. It's amazing to see, what guys can do together when they, when they work through issues, when they continue to improve, and they stick together for this long. It's been amazing. But on the other side of it, you see some of the defeated looks on the face of EG right now. But on not really a positive note, but you got to think in the back of your heads, you're thinking, guys, we've been here before. Whether it's been a loser's bracket run, whether it's been day one at stage one, they know they have what it takes to fight back in a weekend like this.
And a lot of similar scenarios, too. You thought in that group that they were in, you had a pretty tough battle there. I believe Riot Nation was in their group as well for that second place spot that you thought EG were going to have to battle with. Everyone said FaZe had a great opportunity to go 6-0 in that group, just because of how good they looked going into stage one. Then you had EG fall to 0-2 without winning a single map. Then, just to make sure everyone knows at home, Saturday and Sunday went 4-0 in their series, took first in their group, and wound up running away with their pool.
Well, it's a little bit of a different story, too, between the two stages, just because, they definitely, I don't think were the favorite to come out of that stage one.
No.
I mean, Rise and FaZe absolutely were.
Yep.
You had Rise, who won Vegas. FaZe, who have been a top 3 team all year, they were not the favorites. Here, they absolutely were. I mean, obviously LG's number 1, but if you look at the other 3 teams, EG are the favorite to come out of this. I mean, they've been consistent all year in that top 8 spot. You would think that this is going to be where they could come and excel. Not the start they wanted, but maybe they can change their fortune here in the search and destroy on Throwback.
Well, we watched Throwback earlier today with Fnatic, and what worked for Fnatic on this map was a lot of hits towards all sorts of areas. They had many plays on offense towards the lower A site, getting quick plants, pushing on through towards Lemon. They wound up overwhelming in middle map to at least be able to put some pressure on the likes of Mindfreak, and even had a great field play that wound up working out on the offensive push. But Mindfreak wound up winning that map based off of, well, some clutch scenarios, making sure Fnatic poorly used some payloads, especially that reactive in round 11. We'll see what the story is here between LG and EG. If you're just tuning in, Game 1 was a very dominant stop in favor of the best team in the world, Luminosity.
We're going to kick things off with Nagafin, though, with the sniper. We saw him hit some nice shots in their first series.
Jump.
Over the top. There it is. He does it time and time again. I saw him tweet the other day. How many spots do people call the Naga? There are a lot, because some of the stuff he does when he gets it into the air.
Oh my gosh, Classic. Even just shoulder peeking that, knowing Nagafin has a sniper. Not sure if that was the best decision. Somehow does get the kill on the Parasite. It's now 1v1.
1v1, and now it's on Octane's POV. Going up against Naga, who I'm sure at this point has gotten a gun to supplement that sniper. Oh, almost ended up being the best timing. I don't think he spotted him, though, right as he hit the edge. You see on the minimap, Octane continues to push through. He's going to work on this bomb plant. And now, a 1v1 post plant.
Nagafen and Octane. 1 versus 1. Nagafen will have the weapon advantage here. Will easily clean that one up. Nice job by Nagafen. 3 kills and the defuse. He'll earn that scarab right away as EG get first round 1. And I said this so many times. And I talked to some players about it, and a lot of them just kind of say, you know what, yeah, if Nagafen's going to go for that high wall run, force him to hit the shot. They want middle. They think middle map control is worth the risk, right? How many times is Nagafen going to do that off the start of games where teams just decide, you know what, let's just give it up?
Yeah, I kind of agree with their sentiment, though. And mid-map is that crucial, but the problem is you have a guy that hits it more often than he misses it, right? When he's going for the shot.
At this point, it's like clockwork for him.
And he's checking, oh God, someone's dead. Oh. Just barely, he was ready for it, but they're gonna try and push him out, I would think. Try and get some pressure on him with the sniper. They're flying forward. Is anyone gonna be there to help Nagafen? It's actually a teammate from Slack that's gonna take out Saints. Classic able to pick one up though on the other side as well. Quickly becomes a 2 versus 2, Jack.
And now who is it? Nagafen all by himself planting that bomb with his sniper pistol combo. You don't see that too often. As he'll go ahead, get out with his life. At least try to defend this site. 40 seconds remaining, going to be up to LG in the 2v1 to clutch up.
Well, what was it, Breakout, where we saw him hit that nasty 2-piece with the snipe? It'd be nice to have an E-Rad here for this, but he did spot one. Oh, hit marker, God. The pistol at long range, not able to finish it. There was one at Silo. He's getting chased now. Will he react in time? Can he get into barn? A little bit sloppy, but he does hit the edge. 20 seconds remaining now, peeks the corner. The pistol not strong enough as Classic comes out on top. And that, I mean, he just needs, unfortunately, another gun in that scenario. or to not to get a hit marker.
Exactly. Yeah. That's more the question there. What was so funny is typically in the past, you'd blame that hit marker on Classic being the one to run camo, so he'd have rear guard to soak that shot. There, I think he just got super unlucky with one of the rare hit markers we see with the sniper hit below that waist, and unfortunately, Classic gets out with his life to get that final kill.
Shot of the EG squad as they get ready for the next round. You got to dust off that rough game one. Maybe some counter snipe action coming in. Classic's fed up with it. He's going to pull one out of his zone. And he's getting tagged up immediately. Not able to hit the shot as he's trying to control bus and look over his teammates here.
Oh gosh, and look at Slack. He just has to push for the kill. It's Nagafen with the headshot. The challenge right back. 3 versus 3, now 3 versus 2 as Octane's got in the middle, but Havoc has snuck up in towards Sidewalk. Classic with just a pistol sniper combo.
A similar situation just from the opposite side. He's at least able to finish it. Now he pulls out the sniper. Saw him for a moment trying to get the edge. The pistol, it's just out of range. There he goes, finds an MV4, tries to snap the shots off to the left, and that's going to be a 1v1 clutch for Havoc.
Nice job by Havoc. You see the smile on his face there, knows how important those rounds can be. Classic almost gets it done, and I'm sure Havoc right there when he got that mantle was not a happy camper, but thankfully Classic does whiff those shots, just wasn't quite ready for Havoc to be that far off to the right.
EG continuing to perform strong. LG looking to answer back here in Search and Destroy, now down a round. They're going to be on the defensive side of things this time. Nagafen will have the snipe in hand, won't be a mid-cut this time. He looks over towards line. That's just one of those, you see 3 players and you shoot between all of them.
Yep. Classic with first blood for his team again. Parasite having a rough series so far. Start out 1-12 in the hard point, now 0-3 in S&D. Havoc will rotate early on first team.
And he's got to pick it up. You know, that's the main thing Nameless said they need him for. His consistency in the sliding department. Nice shots there. He beams Classic. Rips off his head and puts his back to a 3v3. He spotted another. There's actually 2 down by the bomb site. He thought he was getting pushed for a moment. Wisely going to back off. They hadn't pushed forward. Obviously, he can't see everything like we can, but it's Havoc getting into a spot again where he finds an easy kill.
Havoc just sprinting around the map. Parasite now makes it a 2v1. This is one of those rounds where if you're LG, you're kind of scratching your head going, what just happened? Not ready for Havoc to have hit that flank so early on. I touched on it a little bit. He was the one rotating super early in that round. Now they've played complete mind games. They've got the site they want to have. And EG will now grab that objective and go for the plant.
At the same time as they wrap back, Slacked is going to hit out towards Lemon, just playing it slow. Can he see him in the bomb? He saw him for just a moment, so he's got the information he needs, but unfortunately they're planted for their side, and he's gonna have to clutch up now in the 1 versus 2. Can he find an easy kill? He wins it. You can't let him get it. Guns of both slacked, you monster. 1v2, 30 seconds left. Jack, you've got your hands up in the air.
Yeah, salute. I wish he had more gestures than one right there, Slack. You can go through them all for what that just was. That is a perfect example of things that cannot happen when shooting your gun in Call of Duty. Brought to you by EG.
It's like, I mean, if you're both going to fly up high and try to get the angle and gun them together, but with the fence there to work with, he got to take 2 one-on-one gunfights. That just looked way too easy for him.
He was weak, too. And that second player didn't hit a bullet. Talk about where a round that swings the game, EG should be up 3-1, instead it's 2-2.
That could end up being the dagger here, the difference maker for sure in this game 2. Looking at Select right now, back over to Nagafin. He has an opening pick to his name, but wasn't able to locate anything there. Up over mid-map, I don't know what is coming out of Slack's gun there, if he got any help, but absolutely obliterates Havoc off the map.
Perfectly timed as well. As he gets traded immediately right after. They know the player's one shot on sight. Nameless and Parasite, though, get some help to cover their player near A. Guess one. There's a second. It's going to happen again.
What is happening? 1v2, now an easy 1v3? Like, this is some of the sloppiest man-up scenarios I've ever seen. He wasn't even in the right realm to shoot his gun.
This has been Things to Not Do with Your Gun in Call of Duty Volume 2, brought to you by EG.
What the hell? I don't even know. Teep, good luck breaking those down.
Whew, let's move forward. It's now EG looking to see if they can bring this one back. Nameless. Oh, that timing. Wait, what? Oh, that was his teammate. That was his teammate. I thought Nameless.
You were confusing me for a second.
Yes, because we were both turned around laughing that when we turned back, I thought Nameless was pushed through the map. I was like, what a terrible timing. How did he not see him?
Oh, no.
1v2.
1v2 again. He spotted one. We've got 1v2, 1v3, now another opportunity for a 1v2. Parasite somehow still alive. He's going to push on through. Hasn't finished the kill yet. How is he not finished? He has FTL to work with. He's got FTL behind. Doesn't finish it. My God. Nameless, thank you, Lord in heaven, for winning that.
If Parasite didn't get those couple bullets, that one bullet onto him. Oh, my goodness. I've aged a couple of years. I can only imagine someone as old as you is what it's done to your body.
Almost dead, am I?
Well, I think that might just be the case no matter what.
All tied up at 3-3 in what should be a 5-1 game, probably for LG. And by probably, I mean it very certainly should be. Opening kill is going to be Classic. Slacked right there with him with the nade. 4v2 early advantage. Nagafin trying to tilt things back into his team's favor, and they do just that. 2 versus 2. Naga and Havoc able to do it. Another win for Naga. Sick stuff.
Nagafin and Havoc just decide, you know what? Let's just do what we do best and just do crazy things on the map. That right there actually is a perfect example of where people joke about like jetpacks being gone and stuff like that. Like with these guys, they just flew around, jumping, soaring, sprinting, holding forward, and just sliding around corners and getting those kills.
So we've now had, what, a 1v2, a 1v3, and we add a 2v4 onto that?
That was a round that LG now will look back at saying, what did we just do?
All right. Moving into the next. This has been an interesting series so far. Nagafin just trying to peek, see what he's able to spot with that ERAD up top. 2 of his teammates have pushed through B. Can we get over to Nameless right now? Nameless pushing through the backside. There's a first blood for him. Anybody else here to challenge? No, next man up will probably be Classic inside of Grandma's. Classic and Nameless fighting on the minimap right now. Slack tries to get around the backside, can't do it. Nagafin wins it. Can they tie it up here? Saints and Classic gonna have to clutch up in a big way. It's now Saints just by himself, 1 versus 2. He's tagged up, trying to get away with his life, and he is dropped. So EG, despite throwing a couple of the sloppier rounds we've seen in Search, somehow get the composure back, and they're back in control with a 5-3 advantage.
They're basically up 7-1 now in this S&D. That's what it feels like.
It does.
We'll now go into round 9. We saw actually 2 different rounds in S&D earlier today where, remember when I talked about how Mind Freak, or it was a Mind Freak Fnatic game where they did a great job of waiting for the team that was pushing through B to push them instead of them pushing forward? Right there, LG tried to push to retake and rotate, and EG were ready for it. They were just pre-aiming and let them run right into their ARs. Smart play from EG.
Well, you're going to need to rely on some payloads to battle back into this if you're Luminosity. Havoc is a kill off of his reactive armor. On the other side, you've got Camo to work with. Slack trying to get some shots in. He's tagged up. Nagafin, another kill with that pistol.
Octane's got to use his camo. He's got to use this camo. He cannot die with this, or else the game will be done, in my opinion.
He's about to get flanked. He should be shot in the back. Octane, can he get the camo? He gets shot, not able to use it. Now Saints by is lonesome, and he is dropped. EG get a bit. This is huge too, because maybe they are going to take the series, but getting maps off LG, if we've got some sort of 3-way tie scenario, the wins against Luminosity is going to be huge down the stretch.
We say a lot where, you know, that was not a pretty game, but they get it done. That right there,
the definition.
Perfect example. The definition of not a pretty game, but getting the map victory. EG take that one 6-3, and we're now tied up 1-1.
And that's big. You know, we talk about uplink, the game 3 and a best of 5 being the swing game, but the search certainly can be when it's something like that, where you have all the momentum, you stomp them in game 1 if you're LG. It just sort of kills momentum. EG gets the victory. They tie the series back up at 1-1. You can kind of forget about those first 2 maps and reset in the uplink. It's a not a pretty win, like you said, but a good win.
Yeah, and now LG, they'll go back to their bread and butter, which is respawn game modes. On the other side, this is EG's weak point. Uplink, and then obviously following another hard point. If EG lose both of those, they will be at 0-6 in respawns on day 1.
They've got to turn it around. Will it happen in the uplink? Guys, we're going to hop into it after this quick break.
It's the end of day one of the red group here in stage 2 of the Global Pro League, and we've got our last G Fuel key player matchup. This one between Octane and Nameless. We know them for their AR play on the map, but Octane is just a league ahead of Nameless between, well, every single category. The dunks, the total points, and the KD. What can Nameless do for EG to help propel them to their first respawn map victory so far in this group, or will Octane and crew continue to cruise through another best of 5? This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
EG with a big win in Search and Destroy, tie up the series, and are now looking to do battle in Uplink. You know, it was an impressive victory after how the game 1 went. Can EG, you think, will that muster some confidence? Maybe think, hey, we can play with these guys after how dominating it was early in that first game 1 hardpoint.
It's simple for me. EG win this map, we're going game 5. EG lose this map, this series is done in 4. I think that's their only chance, is Uplink. When you look at what I believe we're playing Precinct, if I'm not mistaken. So if it will be Precinct Uplink, a lot of the play for me will come down to that ERAT pressure inside that lobby area. If EG can wind up getting some slang power, that's what they need most, right? It's just a presence on the map when it comes to kills and respawns. They got smoked in game 1 in KD, and they went down by 3 minutes in hardpoint time because of it. If that happens again here, I think LG will not only run up the score, but win this game by 10 to 15 points.
It's going to come down for me for that side when you're pushing towards Ticket. You can get that deadly spawn trap at back alley. LG, when they're able to get that set up, they're one of the best in the business at locking it down and rallying in points. I just feel like if you're EG, you have to at all costs just avoid that. You have to avoid basically getting 3 or 4 down. If that means you have to play a little bit slower, maybe a little bit more cautious, and you have a low-scoring game, by all means, I think that's your strategy to victory here. You can't play at a fast pace or like a risky pace, I think, against Luminosity.
Players now just choosing their classes as we get ready to go into game number 3. Is there anything that stands out for you so far today, maybe looking back on the action we've seen?
Overall, I think what stands out mostly is that I guess that's kind of going how we expected, in the sense that we thought Luminosity would be, the heavy favorite coming in, and we believed that the other 3 teams would fight each other tough, and I think that's sort of what we've seen. When you look at the fact that yes, EG might end up down 0-2, but I think we agree they're going to be back in the hunt when looking at Fnatic and Mindfreak.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick one series that maybe surprised me the most, it has to be the 3-0 for Mindfreak over Fnatic. Not that I was flabbergasted, but I thought Fnatic was going to win the series. I didn't think they'd win it in the fashion they did, that's for sure.
I think that's an example of Mindfreak keeping themselves in it for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
You can absolutely say that any team can finish second in this group after day 1. Simple as that. Even EG can make that comeback. Do not count them out at all, even if they do lose this series to LG. If LG, though, win this one in this best of 5, there's one thing we can all continue to say for sure. They are remaining consistent atop the groups that they're in.
And one thing that's crazy too from stage 1, we mentioned the fact that EG started 0-2 and they came back and they went 4-0 Saturday and Sunday. They didn't just get in the top 2, they won the group.
Yep.
That's how big they turned it around, from last to first.
Yeah.
Will they provide some similar miracles here in stage 2?
Well, let's get into it now. Game 3 tied up 1-1. Thankfully, EG still doing well in S&D. They're 2-0 in that so far this weekend, but they're 0-3 in respawns, as they're going to take control of the drone early on, and Havoc could hit a potential 1 unless Slack has other things to say about it, and it's actually a missed throw. Tried to thread the needle right there, and unfortunately falls just short.
I was talking about avoiding that pressure, avoiding that trap. That's not going to come until the second half here. So what do you think the plan is for EG when you're playing from this side? What are you looking for them to do?
I think right now, don't let LG get comfortable. Don't let them get in a setup. Once LG can get pre-aiming, can begin to just use their gun skill to their advantage, they take over. Look, here's an example right there. The dunk comes in. LG are having to fight from the back gas spawn. Even now, by Nagafen just staying alive, they can't go sprinting on through. Perfect example right here. Nagafen just relieving some pressure, giving his teammates a second to breathe while coming out of their base.
And remember, if you look back at the first half of Fnatic versus EG in Uplink, EG looked really good through the first half. They played it very strong. They were almost complete. They were in complete control throughout most of it. Things just fell apart on the second side. They just, they don't have to play perfect through this game. They just need to have at least a really, really solid half. They started out nicely here. They're up 2-0. Can they add on to it?
That was a misplay, in my opinion, from LG. There was some sort of miscommunication the way Slack wound up playing it, it looked like he was waiting for a pinch to come in from that, back statue side through Park, and the player actually just held the angle. They never pushed forward. If you watch back that gameplay on that minimap, at about the top center area, they were just holding from top station window instead of going for a pinch with that AR. Comes back to bite him now, as LG are 2 dead yet again.
Well, the pressure on EG. They're the underdogs in this series. They're trying to fight back, continue the momentum off of the Game 2 search and destroy win. Let's turn up those headphones. Let's go to a team chat here with EG.
Go Mike, go. Pick it up, go.
You got it.
Let's name jump over. Good shit, man.
One more behind you guys. Chase him. Just go.
You guys have 2v2.
Oh, he's in the corner. That fucking sucks. One top ticket flew out. Top ticket flew out. Get 1 kill, Jared.
Fuck. I'll put it. Got one shot. There's 2 there, 3 there. One's 1 shot. He's going for 1.
Go for the 1.
We're going for it. Keep killing. Go for a dunk. Nice. Good shit, guys.
Yeah, we should push this forward. Come on.
Yeah, go for it. I'll pinch.
Yo, let's go through bottle white.
Top ticket.
Down. Go through bottle white. Go.
Got me hurt, Chris. Yo, flank. Yo, hold the ball there.
One shot top ticket. 3 there. 3 out of position. Go for a pass.
No. Good one.
1. Oh, I fucking mid.
All good. Regain. Go to the left yellow truck so you stay.
Damn it, man.
All good.
Alright.
Ball already. Connect player.
One left.
I'm in L.
I'm going farther.
One's right. He's weak by nade. Or weak by bullets.
Watch it dead.
Low dead.
Help, Nick.
Stop party. You guys stop. Think fast. Nice, brother. One more.
I couldn't. He's got ball. He's gonna go straight for it.
Got him.
Stop.
Grab ball. Cole.
I got it.
Get his.
Yo, someone else take this.
Right there. Chill from the car.
Blue truck coming.
Dead.
One's on power set. He's going white hall or flanking.
I'm pushing through the alley. Guys.
I'm coming alley with you. I'm coming alley with ball.
Wild. 2 guys. Wild.
I'm behind them.
Go alley. Go ball.
I'm
I'm
pulling. Go. Getting a
2 guys yellow.
Yo, Octane's 1 shot.
Why did you nade that?
All good. Regain, guys. Regain. Go right quick. No punch them.
Get an L. Somebody has to get my L.
And you heard right there a little frustration from Havoc as he questions, why did Nagafed nade that? Immediately Nameless goes, regain, hold on. We're fine. They're up 2-0. Nothing to freak out about. LG were there either way. It wasn't going to be a dunk no matter what happened right there. Unfortunately, though, the worries for EG now might be real, even as a dunk has gone through from LG.
Well, I think that's something we've heard Havoc knock for a little bit, is sometimes his lack of maybe maturity in communication at times in team scrims. I think what stood out for me is sort of complaining after deaths, some of the useless communication that you don't need. Nameless trying to turn that around, but that's got to improve, in my opinion, for a young player.
Well, even watching Clayster scrim with his new team on United, they had a map against Optic where they wound up not complaining in uplink. They strictly focused on callouts. They win it, and first thing Clay says is, oh, look at that. We finally stopped complaining after death, and we wind up winning a map because of it. So that's a very true thing to bring up, is making sure when you're speaking, it's for the better of the team. It's call-outs, it's strategizing, and not just dead air time.
No, if you're going to talk, there needs to be a purpose, right? And I don't think complaining is going to result in much of anything. But as we sit here, it is going to be tied up 2-2, 20 seconds remaining. Havoc, a chance to make a play here out the window and over the top. There's a 1-point toss and able to gun one in the back with the help of Nagafen. With 10 seconds remaining, they might have another chance at a 1-point throw if they can get there quickly. Nope. Parasite's grabbed the drone. He's trying to get out. Nah, he's going around the backside. Not going to be anything else coming through.
If Nagafen wound up winning that gunfight against Octane, there was a chance, but once that happens, it doesn't give them any opportunity to push forward that drone. So going into side 2, it's actually EG up 3-2, which is surprising, but I'm not as surprised as you think, Maven, again, because this is an EG team that we know can fight in uplink, but you also mentioned that this is now the side where they have to be more worried.
Yes.
It's now when LG get in this position where they're trying to score towards gas when they can take control of top station.
Exactly, and again, they had a very good first half against Fnatic. And then Fnatic, they just kind of blew the doors off it. It was a very close game, but they did have a much better second half. EG can't collapse here, and yeah, like we talked about before this, I don't care what you need to do to slow down the tempo, but you cannot let this LG team get control and get that spawn trap going. I have no idea what fight I'm watching right now, but Classic does end up winning it before a grenade and a gas can to the face.
And Nagafen kills all 3 on that push with that final grenade. Saints, though, answers with 2 of his own, and this is such a smart play from Havoc. Immediately grabs a drone, rotates it, gonna force LG to burn time. And look, they even get EG, their teammates, close spawns near this reset. Such a smart play from Havoc.
Nice job from Havoc as they keep moving on forward. Wrapping it back with the drone. I like this. Take your time, get good pushes here. Keep the drone out of Luminosity's hand. It's a 1-point, it's up and away. The interception is there. We heard the comms from the Evil Geniuses side of the first half. Let's listen in now with LG.
take it.
Taking ball now.
Yeah, I'm on ball.
I'm gonna get you back out.
I stunned Dwight. I didn't hit him. Got ball out. Dwight, 2 of them. 2 white.
Back out here.
One's right back. One right back.
Aggie here, back out.
2 white, another way. White, absolute. Now on ball.
Yeah, jumped out of me. 3 cat.
They're gonna push out heavy.
Yeah.
2 guards, they're close.
Stunned.
Back square.
Bogos going for 1. Bogos going for 1. He's going fast for 1.
Playing up.
I died.
I died.
Miss. Gonna go for a dunk.
Step
2 there.
Just kill Sam.
2 there.
Just shoot a peg. Point now.
Got Havoc, absolute little peg.
One's on our peg. I spawned out, guys. I'm hitting white fast. Come out white.
I think it's wood stairs on us, maybe. Havoc's on me. Could be a dunk. Havoc's dead too. He's on me. I'm one shot.
Yeah, got him.
Top ticket. Knock of it. Or sharp. Tarp right now. I got it.
Top one shot.
Back alley, challenging you guys. I'm peg.
Oh, alright. Knock him with the ball.
2 on me. 3 on me. They're hitting double. One's hitting white. Colt's white hole and 2 cat. Colt's white hole and 2 cat.
Actually, he's L on me. Knock him. 2
absolute white. Colt's pinching.
Bench. Aim was flying over dead. I think he already pinched. He's up with nice too. Back square.
Step.
I got one shot.
Just stand outside. We have your shot.
Haggis there. He's stunned. Nice.
I'm fine.
Havoc and Nameless. You gotta get ball control. Yeah,
they're gonna be
One's tarp.
Back alley.
Wait. Dead. Right there with it. Nice. I'm coming up.
Top ticket. It's top ticket.
He got flat out.
Wait. He's hurt. Hurt Vance. Nice.
Dead.
Can I play life? Just finesse. Yep. Pinch. We have a pinch.
Any orange.
Yeah, we have a pinch.
Green.
You have a 1 at least.
Get on.
Good job.
Other green chuck. Weak.
Green
chuck that. One's going white hole right now.
White hole.
One's going right.
That's one close. I'm hitting white.
We're coming back.
Full.
White
Top plat.
Haggis full.
Go listen to that entire listening again. Tell me if you hear one single complaint by any member of LG, any word that's not a call out or strategy. Their communication on point right now, Maven.
It was incredible, and I think the big difference for me was when you say don't worry about this side, or I'm looking over you, just play your life, like telling the others what to do, kind of giving them that extra information that maybe you don't get on the minimap. I thought it was spectacular, but when it's all said and done, it is tied up right now. Drone still in the hand of LG. Saints has reactive armor to work with in front as well. Slacked will be the drone carrier. Nameless Nogafin, though, on the other end, slowing things down. This push is thwarted.
Yeah, and that's now 4 dead for LG. Thankfully, they'll spawn right on their uplink portal. EG now in the offensive, looking to see if they can wind up taking back this lead. 90 seconds remaining. Havoc tries to go for the 1, but Saints is there with a 3-piece.
Yeah, Saints big on the defensive end. It's going to come down to these final 80 seconds. Who's going to be able to make the play? Classic, unfortunately, having a rough game for LG, so the camo not going to be available for him. Yeah, Parasite, man, you saw nothing but the tip of his head there as the NV4 connects onto Saints. What do you think? Somebody coming through here? Are we seeing it overtime?
I think so. I think reactive is going to come into play in a big way on this one. Again, no camo. Looking like it's going to be earned from Classic in regulation. Something that has plagued him multiple times for the side of LG.
And on the other end, Parasite does have the overdrive to work with. If they can get drone in his hand. Remember, last uplink, they stacked awkwardly their camo and overdrive players and were able to make a play earlier in the day. And Nogafin's got the melee. He just popped camo. It's going to be burned, and now the drone goes back to Luminosity.
Oh, no.
Did they have a chance, or is Nameless going to be able to hold the edge? Nameless gets 2 crucial kills, and with 30 seconds remaining, it's a bloodbath here at Statue.
Octane gets 3. Nogafin last alive. They've got to take. They got to cut him down. They got to go quick. Unfortunately, the respawn is there. Havoc with the trade. 3 versus 3, 20 seconds remaining. LG with 1 final push. They still have Saints with this reactive armor. Does he pop it to stay alive? It does appear so. It does look like he's used the active. But they have no drone. They don't grab the drone.
They get it late. There's 1 person left up. Classic needs to be a hero. Trying to jiggle back and forth. Can he get up off the high wall run? Nothing he can do. It's OT, baby, in game 3. As we are tied up 5-5. So the one thing you have probably for the advantage of LG is Classic is what? Just a couple kills away from picking up that camo. It got burned on the other side.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly what else. I think Parasite probably still has the overdrive to work with.
Saints use the reactive. So payload's honestly being used on both sides for nothing. What I am wondering is, do you build a strategy around Classic's camo if he potentially earns it right at the break? Again, look at this from Parasite. He's looking to catch the side of LG off guard, and Octane guns him.
Yeah, they both end up using the overdrive there to get to mid, and it goes into the favor of LG. It's slacked. 180 turn, burn. Everybody dropped, and this should be a score. The opening 20 seconds, it's up. Away, short. No. It's short, and Parasite clears it at home.
A missed 1-point throw. That would have been like a 16-second score.
Oh my God, will that mistake end up costing them the game? What a quick strike that would have been. the only positive, Classic still is going to be able to get that camo
Look at
when he comes back to
close
life.
Havoc is to reactive armor. I'm pretty sure if his character sneezed, he'd earned the payload.
Very, very close to picking it up. There it is. Gets the point for grabbing the drone. He's got reactive armor to work with. He's just holding lobby right now. It's going to be Classic that's going to come in to challenge. The timing should work out brilliantly. There he gets tagged in from behind. Classic now, control of lobby. Teammates clearing the way in front. This is going to be a later score than they probably should have had, but 6 stuff from Classic. You saw the 180 from Slacked earlier. Classic now doing it. Camo is available. You can get the score without it. Maybe save the camo for the second side to be the dagger. He gets dropped. Is the interception there? It's just over the top. What should have probably been a 19-second score turns into a minute 19 score. But you've got camo here.
Here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if LG 4-stack in towards ATM. They immediately send Octane into cover with the AR, watching the player who's going to push from statue. They have someone like Slacked rush in, grab the drone, pass it back to Classic with the camo. Classic camos out of that ATM hallway, and then throws in the 1-point play.
Well, I think the big thing here is...
All right, look, here comes the 4-stack.
Can Havoc kill the camo player?
They've got the 4-stack in. They get early drone control.
Oh, well, that's it.
They wind up grabbing it. 2 dead. They rush in towards Nameless. Now they'll rotate back, but they don't have camo alive. That's the issue.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
if they grab that drone and go the opposite way, if they did the strategy I literally said, they win that game.
You know how good... Nameless just been so huge. Everyone else was dead, and he gets 2 there. To slow down that push, you still have an opportunity. There's the camo. Should be done. No interception. 30-second score, and LG clutches up in overtime. I mean, honestly, it probably shouldn't have stretched on that long with how the opening break went. EG survives longer with the 1-point toss being a little off the mark from Slacked. But God, I mean, you play them tough, but like you said, you win that, you're probably going to a game 5 if you're EG. You lose it, it's probably ending in the hard point, at least if the game 1's anything to go off.
We talked about how EG's win in game 2 wasn't pretty. That sure as hell wasn't pretty either for LG, but in the end, a map win is a map win. I said it the same thing last time. It's now a 2-1 LG advantage, and Evil Geniuses are now 0-4 in respawn game modes so far today, with the potential for 0-5 now if they lose this hard point.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest takeaways from that game was the communication as we were kind of breaking it down. Like, if that's what separates, you know, good teams from top teams. LG, a top team without question. You heard how good the comms were. I mean, even as a spectator, they were pleasant to listen to. I understood exactly what they were trying to do, whereas it just wasn't that really from AG. But that's something, I think that's something you can work on, certainly as a squad. I mean, I know it's tough to get out of the habit of complaining after death. That's pretty natural for all of us. Like if I go home and play a pub every time I'm dying, I'm freaking out. But you got to get out of the habit.
When LG was formed, they were not communicating like that. I can tell you that pretty simply. As a team, when you grow, you get used to what you need to work on. One of them is obviously communication. LG are on point right now. They're all smiles as they head into hard point up 2-1. They led teams, again, I mentioned it earlier, I'll say it again now, in KD, like in kill differential as well as score differential in hardpoint at Anaheim, just decimating opponents. It was not even close. They're looking to keep that theme moving forward this weekend.
And so far, so good for their side. You just need a big upset if you're here. If you're AG, if you get to a game 5, you can absolutely win it. I mean, we know as improved as Luminosity has been in Search and Destroy, it's still their weakness. Yes, it's been good, but you know, it's their worst game mode to this point. I think the only outlier being Stage 1, where I think it was actually their best or second best. That's when they really turned it around. But God, man, I can't get over how solid that was. And the communication standpoint, because I think if with EG too, you know, these guys have been playing together all year for Luminosity. If you're EG, Parasite's new to the team, you know, it's been kind of leadership from Nameless. You know, you heard them talking on the interview. He's the guy kind of leading them around. With Parasite coming in, maybe that hurts communication for a little while. It takes a while to work out the kinks, kind of.
I think what's funny is you're seeing LG, a team that many people thought were immediately going to be in kind of, championship contention right away when they were formed, go through that growing phase, that struggle where they had to get out the kinks, they had to work things out. And instead of making a roster change like I think lesser teams would have done and less experienced players would have done and forcing somebody out, trying something different, they stuck it out, they improved. They worked on literally each game mode as a time, right? They were great at hardpoint, then they had to get better at uplink. They get better at uplink, then they had to work on S&D. They got to a point where they were good at all three. Now they've capitalized on their communication and find a weak point in LG's game right now.
You can't.
Yeah, I mean, yes, S&D at times can, but that simple as that. Right now, they look fantastic.
Yeah, even then, like I said, it's not even a weakness as much as just the weaker of their game modes. They've been so good. But EG, you know, they've been able to win the search and destroys. They've played a couple, what we had, their first uplink went to a 1-point score against Fnatic in the final seconds. This one ends up going to overtime. If they can turn it around, I mean, if they're going to continue to struggle in hardpoint, I mean, that hurts you since it's 2 out of 5, but if you could at least start to win these uplinks, you know, you're giving yourself a chance in these series.
Yep, and that was absolutely winnable from the side of EG, but at the same time, you look at LG and you think that really shouldn't even have gone to overtime. Remember Slack's 1-point missed throw he had earlier in that game? Something like that, you never really know. It's rough if you're an EG fan right now because you think with Parasite being picked up, it was to make sure scenarios like this did not happen, where you are inconsistent in respawns, where you go down 0-2 on day 1 of your group in the stage. And now they're on the verge of both of those same exact things happening. EG fans just can't catch a break.
Well, Scorch hardpoint, at least looking back to stage 1, this was one of the better hardpoints for Evil Geniuses. This is the map that kind of kicked things into gear. They beat FaZe there. They got all hyped up. They immediately, I think after that, they beat Fnatic in that as well. Scorch hardpoint, one where we've seen them see success in the past. Can they do it against here with their backs against the wall in the series versus LG?
Well, Havoc does get first blood. Saints, though, alongside Octane and Slack, will even the numbers back out as LG are getting the first points on the board. They know they have the Centurion player inside this hardpoint right now as Nameless is just trying to stay alive and wait for his team.
He sees trophies just blocking some of those incoming nades. Slack just waiting and trying to get an angle and peek over the top as we're 30 seconds into the hardpoint. There's only 3-4 points on the board as it was mostly contested early on, but finally Luminosity able to bust through. And this is what we saw in the opening hardpoint in game 1, right? They flip the spawn so quickly and get control. Pretty similar result here.
And what I love right there from LG, if you watch, there's nobody peeking for a moment. Then they have the person who's watching that back a wall run go for a high wall run, and then all 3 players go soaring out. There's no chance for EG to stop that at all. Like, it does not matter who's there. Just from how perfect that timing is, there's no chance for them to fight back there. Thankfully for EG, they've at least got pressure here towards Turbine already, and Classic has given away his position.
Yeah, it was a really good job from EG. It looked terrifying after LG was able to get control of the spawns, but now it's EG's hard point to hold. First man in, gonna be Classic. He should be shot from the back in just a moment, almost able to turn and fry one there in behind him. After everything's said and done on the first LG push, the only man remaining is gonna be Saints on the top side. Saints actually does get an opening kill. They've got a 4v3 for the moment. Saints just got tagged up from behind. EG looks to still be holding strong.
Yeah, and Classic's going to be in a 1v1 versus Havoc. Doesn't check the right corner. Havoc does a nice job of making sure he's in a position he's not ready for. Thankfully for LG fans, they do get the close spawn. EG will be in early control of Hangar, though it does appear.
And I'll tell you what, man, I think as lopsided as game 1 was, you know, what I said about maybe it's a silver lining that you started to bounce back and fight. Props to EG. You must have got something out of that because the fact you're able to win the search and destroy, play them that tough in the uplink, this would be a pretty crazy bounce back win if they're able to do this in the series.
This is exactly what LG did earlier on today on this map. Remember when they would not have early control of the hard point, then just flood in and take command of it? They do it right there, and then ironically enough, EG do it right back to him with a nice 2-play from both Nameless as well as Parasite as they both pick up doubles.
Yeah, but there was one player left up for just an extra second. That allowed them to get the close spawn, so they just flood right back in. Nagafin's still here trying to do damage. That's frustrating because it's a pretty good defense from EG, but they don't have anybody looking out towards that back spawn, so Luminosity pops right back in and floods through. It allows them to keep this close in a hard point that EG may have racked up the final 40 points.
Well, EG, they should hold on to this lead going into Drill. Drill, though, is where I worry about this EG roster. We'll see how they do on rotation. Slack gets the cleanup alongside Octane. So I think I said EG would have the lead. That's not going to be the case, though. As rotation will come in, it's going to be Octane looking to be the one to pinch from middle map.
And, well, Drill was EG's bread and butter through stage 1. I know there were some movement mechanics in the game that allowed them to really, really punish their opponents on that particular hard point. The question is, can they get it done now? So far, it's going to be LG set up inside first. You see Saints and Classic going to be dealing with pressure coming from observation deck. Classic drops, so Saints knows where the pressure is coming back from. Going to switch focus, check observation deck. His teammates dropping all around him, trying to stay alive. Good job, dude. Octane, if you have him looking over you, you can survive anything.
Yeah, and Saints knows that. That's why he's pushing forward as 3 players are charging at him. I will say Slack, though, is the reason why they were able to hold that off. He killed the player who was flanking from middle, and then once his teammate spawns close, they know that entire side of the map is completely clear of anyone on EG, because if there was someone there from EG, his teammate would not have gotten that spawn. They would have spawned in either top hangar or near that back warehouse area. Because of that one kill from Slack, Octane is able to play comfortably. They don't have to worry about their flank, and they get 40 uncontested seconds because of it.
Well, your concern about drill for EG ends up being warranted as LG goes off there. A couple kills in a row for Octane before he ends up dropping. They're now fighting back at Bridge, EG trailing by 40 points, and the difference is that drill hard point. Can they get a little bit of it back here on our next set of rotations?
LG break on through again. 20 seconds straight of contesting from both teams. LG wind up just edging them out, and look who's the player leading the game in Slang, pulling away now in KD. It's Octane, does lose that one-on-one to Nameless. A nice little wall bounce there to catch a few extra shots to go off by Octane, but either way, it's 122-68, the largest lead of the game yet for LG.
I'll tell you what, man, this Luminosity is picking the best time
to be good.
Maybe in the history of Call of Duty to click, right? Just perfectly the way they are. More money up for grabs. What did you tell me the other day? It was something like $2.5 million available over a month and a half, 2 months. It's just what a time to start peaking like this.
Between Anaheim, Stage 2, and Champs, it's $2.4 million in about 2.5 months' time.
Good time to be playing your best.
Yes.
All right, let's get back to Turbine now. We'll rotate out. Last time it was EG set up in early. Now it's going to be LG's turn to try and hold. Saints gets tagged up, but trying to hold a player back there at the top side. We're going to be pinching in, but there's only 2 players remaining from EG. If somehow they can get this done, Havoc and Nagafin, we saw them turn up as a duo in the Search and Destroy. Can they do it here as well? They do. They get it done. That was a 2v4, 2v3 at one point.
That was because of poor communication between Classic as well as Saints. Saints was still watching that top door from Warehouse when Classic was already fully in the know that was clear. They did not mention that the players were going from lower door as well as that outer catwalk area, and because of that, EG have a chance to break in. A communication blunder there from the side of LG.
How do you think stuff like that happens? You know, when we listen to their comms and we hear how strong they were, everything being called out, is it just you think a situation maybe where somebody misses a call out, somebody's not listening, it just gets lazy for a moment?
I think that's mainly it, right? There's so many other calls being yelled out by the 2 teammates who just died that Saints is in a spot where he's being told so much information that obviously there are those times where you just miss something, and I think that was one of them right there.
And I'll tell you what, for EG, it's been a tough day one for Parasite. You know, again, Nameless, he preached consistency. They didn't get that out of study. Parasite needed to be that guy, and the 2 hard points in this one have been abysmal. Now, I know you're going against 4 incredibly talented players, and it's going to be very difficult to put up big numbers, but 9-19, what was it, something like a 2-14 or so start. He needs to turn it around here, and it looks like it may be beginning in day 2 unless they can mount a strong comeback.
Yeah, 169-116. It's going to be back up to a full 1-minute lead as we move towards Drill again. If you remember last time at Drill, it was all in favor of Luminosity. When it comes down at the time, Parasite, the first player to hit 20 deaths, and he's the only player in the lobby that hasn't eclipsed 10 kills.
Let's see if he can turn it around. He really did in that game 1 hard point. They're going to need him to turn it on. Down 70. But it's been a much stronger performance from them, at least over the course of this game 4 versus the first hard point. Nameless able to win the first engagement, challenges a second, but Saints gets the better of them. The kill feed, though, primarily red, so time will start ticking towards EG. Classic waiting on his teammates. Maybe this is an opportunity for a camo pop if they decide to use it here to break. But, yep, here it goes. He's also only 225 off picking up streaks. Make it 100 now off the Trinity. If he gets a kill, he's getting everything here. In the hard point, needed 1 more bullet. The combination of that kill plus the time in the hard point would have given him full streaks.
Nice job by Havoc to stay alive. They used 2 payloads to break that, maybe for 25 seconds of time. But you think of what that means for the score of the game, right? If EG wind up holding that full time, it's what, 175 to 155 instead?
Pretty close.
Now it's getting close to 200 to 139. They're back up to a full 1-minute lead again. LG just continuing to put on the pressure.
Well, there are a lot of hard points on this map where you can lock down, 40-plus points, and that's what EG is going to need to do, a couple of those to really rally back into it. This not really being one of them here at Bridge. The FTL provides nothing for Parasite as he loses that. We know we saw the camo used on the side of Luminosity. You still have that powerful, powerful utility available for the EG side. Well, that ended up being crucial down the stretch, but like you said, slacked in from behind, 2 kills, tags up 1 as well. Gives his teammates some breathing room.
It just seems like they always have someone there, man. It's got to be so frustrating to play against.
It has to be. Absolutely has to be. But this one now coming down to the wire. EG's got to play perfect hardpoint to come back into it. Reactive armor is going to be used. He finds a kill. Second one in the back. Wins that as well. 6 shots from Havoc there to locate a couple of kills. There's 20 seconds remaining, and they need to win these gunfights in the back. Classic doing a good job holding for LG, but you have to bust through here if you're EG.
The issue was right there was Havoc. They wanted to be able to use that to push on through, but the LG spawns were still close in that new hardpoint. You've got Centurion watching this outer catwalk area. Saints, I think here you pop reactive armor.
Use reactive, but you have Camo on the other side that can possibly use. Nagafin's actually gotten inside of the hard point. Can he go huge for his team? Nameless gonna go ahead and use Centurion there in the corner. Octane wisely staying alive. EG trying to fight back. 45 seconds remaining. You could get a lead change here if they're able to hold. But first one in. Octane behind the Scarab. See, the second one at the edge was actually putting shots into the Centurion. Nagafin still has Camo to work with, and he's only 100 off of this Trinity. Yeah. This could be absolutely huge, and them coming back at this hard point just needs to find one more kill. He's going to go ahead. Here's the call for the Camo. He gets cut down.
Havoc just shot him in the back of the head.
Are you kidding me?
Havoc just shoots Nagafen in the back of the head. Another team kill from Havoc. That's 3 in 2 maps. And that's by far the worst one yet.
Because that's maybe control and streaks for that. That might have just cost you the game. I know you're already trailing at this point, but who knows how that circumstance plays out without the team kill.
Camo in the uplink burned when Nagafen tried to grab the drone and go for a desperate one. Camo now burned in hardpoint from a team kill from EG. That, I think, is going to seal the deal. They have one last chance to push in. Slacked is there. EG just trying to flood off these spawns. They're on the verge of losing this series 3-1.
They got a little bit of a favorable spawn there in the back pocket. It's actually going to keep them alive for the time being with 40 seconds remaining. Havoc and company holding strong. Can Havoc go big here off a big blunder there with the team kill onto Nagafin? The Scarab scouting outside. Little does he know there's a person there at the close corner, but Parasite doing a solid job backing him up for the time being. Havoc now going to engage. His teammates all kind of dropping around him. They're over the 200-point mark. They get these final 20 points. They're back into this, but God, man, you've got to be flawless.
Yeah, and I think LG at a point here where, just like the first hard point of this game, they're so close to winning that even if they play for a couple seconds at the last hill, it's worth it. Nameless on this pinch. He gets shot in the back. He doesn't check the hard point. Nagafin's now been spotted. He's dead. Parasite dead. Havoc dead. EG dead. LG 3-1 take the series and end day 1 2-0.
You know, LG gets blessed a little bit. You know, you don't usually say that very often with the way they've been playing. They don't really need to be blessed, but who knows how that plays out if the team kill doesn't happen. You get the break, you get the hold there. You're close to a tie game. Sure, LG may have still won the series, but that's a blunder that's going to bite you.
That is a rough one. That is a rough one. If you're EG, you were doing such a good job, especially holding that turbine, but we all saw it. The team kill headshot onto Nagafen when he had Camo makes all the difference for those 25 seconds.
I'll tell you what I saw, though. I mean, outside of the opening 5 minutes of the game 1 hardpoint,
yep,
EG played them very tough.
Yeah.
I mean, they really did. The search and destroy, they could have blown them out if it weren't for a couple of those sloppy rounds. The uplink, they very well could have won. The hard point without a blunder, they could have won. Like, this is a series that EG should have won. If you would have asked me that the opening couple minutes of the game 1 hard point, I would have said this is going to be a 3-0. This series is going to last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But EG, you know, they pull it together. They nearly rebound. I mean, that's one thing I guess you can take away from today. I think you proved to yourself, if you're EG, fix the comms, fix the small mistakes, and we can beat anybody here.
Yep. Well, either way, EG in stage 1, they lose and go down 0-2 at the end of day 1. But they wind up winning their pool. Now again, they're 0-2 at the end of day 1. We'll see if they can turn it around this weekend.
Well, day 1 in the books. It's double round robin. These guys playing for top 2 to get into the $500,000 playoff. Break it down, guys.
All right, we have 4 of our first 6 matches done in the first round robin, and at the end of it, we have Luminosity on top, as you guys all predicted. Well done. Momo, 3 for 4. You guys, 2 for 4, not so bad on the predictions. Let's talk about how it got done, though, because this was not a hot 3-0. It went to a 3-1. Game number 1, though, this looked like it was going to be an absolute slaughter. At the end of the first round of hardpoint rotations, we saw EG in single digits. It was all Luminosity in that first half. Second half, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, just Luminosity, their slaying power just showing. And again, they played this same map at Anaheim game 1, and it was 250 to 87, if I remember correctly. Luminosity, they're just so good at this map. Slacky's 5-0 at this point. He was just sitting in that cell block kill, just hanging out. His team just doing such a good job. And this is what Parasite was talking about in that interview before. Just you're never fighting just one. You're always fighting multiple of it. But honestly, I think this was the worst possible thing for Luminosity because they kind of just let EG back into the series, and they just sort of took their foot off the gas. They were just like, this is almost a bit too easy for us. We're really good right now.
And talking to LG before the match, they didn't seem to be too worried about Evil Geniuses. Game number 1, nothing truly to worry about. Slack topping the leaderboard, 28 kills and 1.87. Also, most hill time for his squad. Everyone was slaying well, though, for LG. On the other side, you looked for the most kills. Well, Havoc put up 21, but you finished with a .84. And the guy that disappeared for me in that first game was Parasite. TP, I wanted to ask you, you were watching the mini-map throughout this. How is a guy like Slack sitting at 12-2 as you get to the commissary, and you look over at Parasite, and he's 2-12?
It's just one of those situations, especially on Breakout. It can be so hard to bounce back on a map like that. When there's a full setup on cell block like that, you can see they're so far spread out, and not only in the hill watching wall run, but over towards the middle of the map. So if you're put in that situation, which I'm sure Parasite was, where you are that first guy challenging in that really tough gunfight, whether it's at that front fence, at that middle window, it's just really impossible gunfights. You saw him sort of fight his way back into that map, but when your whole team's just getting outslayed like that, someone's going to have a little bit of a lesser number. Like, yeah, he only had 1 kill that situation, but his next teammate right above him had, what, maybe 3 or 4, so it's not really that much of a difference.
Right.
The biggest thing, though, we saw from EG is when you're down and you're not getting any sort of time whatsoever, they kept going one by one, and that's why those KD ratios from LG were so astronomical.
Pretty brutal stuff in game 1. Game 2, though, Nagafen just totally forgets what happened in the previous one, comes into search and destroy, swinging with the sniper rifle early. And as we take a look at some of the mid rounds here, what jumped out to you, Joe, as you watched Throwback unfold?
Oh, well, EG should have probably won this like 14-1. They threw away like a 1v2, a 1v3. There was like a 4v2 situation. But then on the other side as well, I remember just Luminosity. They plant 8 and they give away a 4v2 situation, and you just can't have that. Luminosity, I believe it was Slacked. I heard him after that game just say, we cannot throw these 4v2s. This is the round right here. Havoc and Nagafen, you know, they put them ahead 4-3, and then EG, they were able to bounce back. And again, there's just so many like ridiculous rounds, a lot of mistakes from these guys, something we're just not used to.
Here's a look at the numbers. Nagafen, I told the whole analyst desk, he's going to drop double digits. Wasn't 14 like I claimed, but he did reach 10 kills, a 2.0 as he continues to impress in Search and Destroy. Classic tops the leaderboard for LG with 9 kills in the loss. So we're tied up 1-1. We're going into a game 3. Momo, at this point, did you have any hype for EG? Did you think it was possible they could take the lead in a best-of-5?
I really thought we were going to, uplink Precinct. I thought, we're back in kind of LG's territory, which is Respawn. We saw what they did on map 1, and I kind of just almost brushed that Search and Destroy aside. And from then, I, went into this, and a minute in, 2 minutes in, I was looking at the team like, what are LG doing? Like, where is the LG from Anaheim? Where just they were pushing teams aside, almost like what we saw in map 1. And you've got to give credit to Evil Genius. They were going kind of toe-to-toe. But again, I think there was definitely a lot of sloppy plays from both teams, either side. But the one thing that kind of surprised me was you went from such a negative deficit on the hard point for EG, when the Slaying side, you can see almost, they were doing work themselves. And for a large period of this time, they were actually in the lead. I was like, I almost, the whole game had this feeling like, when are LG just going to shift up a gear? When are they going to just take it to the next level? They managed to tie things up. And actually, I kind of, again, was very surprised. I was like, when was the last time we saw an overtime in uplink? For me, it was quite a while ago. And then that was when the gear changed. That's when LG kind of just said, you know what, this is our game. They should have finished it a lot sooner than they did. That was obviously about a 15-second miss. They get the first side in 1 minute 19, and then in the second, they clear it out. I think they used the payloads very, very well. And all in all, it was close, but LG, again, just clutching up.
Go ahead, Joe.
But it's tough because Luminosity, I mean, like, they're human, right? Like, you win that first game, you go up 150-5, like, you're just kind of out of it. It kind of sucks as a player when you're one of the best teams in the world and you're beating a team that way. You're so amped up. You have so much energy going into the game, and you do that to a team. It's so hard to just like get back into it, take it as serious as possible. Yes, they lose game 2, but I just think after that game 1, it was so hard for Luminosity just to bring that level back to its top.
To keep the focus that high.
Yep.
One of the biggest things I want to note at the end of the regular time in uplink as well, Nagafin got a beat down at that L sort of statue area and burns the camo at about 20-25 seconds left. If he has that camo for another respawn or possibly going into overtime, they could make a play there too. So there's several times where the casters were mentioning LG kind of got blessed. I think that's another sort of situation. And I don't know what's happening today overall in this day 1, but it seems like all these teams are making a lot of bonehead plays. It should not be happening. And if you're one of those teams and wondering why you're losing maps, it's several situations like that. So many 1-point misses, so many payload botcheries at this point, so many team kills. Well, it makes perfect sense why you're losing.
Payload botcheries. Put that hashtag on Twitter right now. The one guy I do want to give credit to at the end of game 3 before we hit the final hard point is Saints. You looked at the numbers 3 minutes out, he's -2. You look at him at the end of overtime, I believe he's +8 or +7 around there. He caught fire to close out the uplink. Let's go into our game number 4 as I take care of some wires here, guys. Hard point, this one we figured would be all LG. The final score, though, 250 to 223, pretty close if you're only looking at the numbers. But what was the story of this game as it played out on Scorch?
I think on the start of this one, again, EG kind of had that good start in a sense where they didn't go 105 to 5 down. They didn't have that time where they were just giving away score streaks, payloads, and they found themselves in a certain position, but they were always trailing. They were always behind. And it was kind of difficult to see when was that moment they're going to get back into it, because LG, their kind of rotations and their holding down of a hard point just seemed to be that little bit better all the time than EG. And then we kind of came to, I think it was Drill, and EG kind of got a little bit better. And then these payloads came in, and those payloads were the most absurd things that I've seen in a long time. That camo play that kind of, I think Jack highlighted casting, and Nagafen tagged up one of his team, kind of took down the camo. We saw it almost wasted on both teams, and it was just kind of that end of the day, end game, like, what's going on? Are these guys like just lacking energy, or?
It was kind of crazy. I think Jack nailed it perfectly. He called out Havoc for the team kills. Nagafen, again, late game camo. Is it perfect timing? Well, this one might have been the ideal timing. But a teammate's bullet shuts down that payload, and EG's chance of coming back ended right there.
Plus, I mean, I hate to pick on the guy, but Parasite's double negative, 16 and 32 or 17 and 32, while the rest of his guys are all playing pretty well. You just can't allow that to happen, especially him. He's supposed to be that slow AR. Yes, it's a very tough matchup versus Octane, but you have to be able to win some gunfights. Who knows, if he even has 5 more kills on the map. Again, they only lost that game by 27 points when he's double negative.
I think one of the biggest surprises on the day is going to be Mindfreak there in our second position overall. Luminosity, they're living up to the hype that they had coming into our red group. And here's where they stand on top of the group. The battle continues tomorrow. Fnatic, EG. Who is going to be able to challenge Mindfreak for that second spot? We got plenty more games still to go. As we close out day number 1, I want one player that shined for you guys and one player that needs to step up on day 2. TP, you're going first.
For shining, I'm going to pick Scraps. The slang was unbelievable today. Really kept his team in that first series. I don't know what exactly happened in the second one. They need to try and figure out whatever their issues was, but he was impressive.
Scraps from Fnatic, the player to watch. Who's your guy to look out for to step it up?
Well, Joe said I'm going to piggyback off of what he said with Parasite. I don't think he had the worst of days, but really against a team like LG especially, you need that top-tier slaying from all the teammates on the team. He wasn't able to put it up there on that Scorch. Maybe he needs to step it up a little.
Momo?
For me, I've got to agree with Parasite. I think he is kind of the one that needs to change the game. I was looking Saints through the whole day. He was very, very solid. He was very consistent, and that's why they're 2-0 up. I think, with the rest of his team playing so well, he's doing great so far.
I think you have to give Mindfreak some love. I think Fido or Shocks played great. As a player to step it up, I'm going to go Tommy. He's a player I think should be a star. He's a star player in Europe, has been for years, and if Fnatic want to get through as that sort of number 1 or number 2 seed, someone else besides Scraps needs to step it up, and I think it has to be him.
I like that call. There are our players to watch coming into day number 2. And speaking of day 2, we have the full schedule for you. Let's take a look at how these games are going to play out. It's the final 2 games to close out the initial round robin. Luminosity still has not played Fnatic, and EG is yet to play Mindfreak. That could be a massive game for EG there. Later, it's Mindfreak versus Fnatic in the rematch. Will Fnatic get their, I guess, will they be able to return to form? Because they fell apart against Mindfreak. And then EG, Luminosity, we're hoping for another close match. Will this one go the distance for a game number 5? You're going to have to tune in and join us for that one. It kicks off tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern here, live from Columbus, Ohio. And of course, if you haven't heard about it yet, there's some serious money on the line. It's our Super Bowl for Call of Duty. It's going down at the Amway Center, the Call of Duty World League Championship, $1.4 million up for grabs. You can watch it all unfold on MLG.tv. Pick up your tickets, MLG.tv/CWL Champs. Let us know on Twitter. Tweet at CWL, tweet at MLG. Who do you think had the best day? Which player surprised you most? And who are you looking out for on day number 2? For TP, Momo, Merc, and all of the casters, I'm Chris Puckett. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on day 2.